Today, Alberta finds itself at a crossroads. A province rich in resources, ambition, and tension. And at the center of it all, Premier Danielle Smith, standing alongside a figure Canadians know well, Prime Minister Mark Carney. This week, Carney announced a bold new move, the second batch of key major energy and infrastructure projects chosen for potential fast-track approval. 7 projects now sit under the careful watch of Carney's Major Projects Office. Among them, a nickel mine in northern Ontario, a hydroelectric project in Iqaluit, a transmission line, and an LNG development in northwest British Columbia. 2 more mineral projects in Quebec and New Brunswick round out the list. It is a list with potential, but one that also carries tension. Because notably absent was a project Alberta has long championed, a bitumen pipeline aimed at Asian markets. Premier Smith addressed this absence with cautious optimism. Negotiations are ongoing, she said, to remove or overhaul laws that have been chasing private investment away from our energy sector, and to work toward ultimate approval of the pipeline. The stakes couldn't be higher. Smith has set deadlines in her own mind, agreements she hopes to see before the weekend's CFL Grey Cup. Yet Carney has reminded reporters that there are still hurdles to clear, items to iron out, over the coming weeks, despite what he described as a meeting of minds in discussions with Alberta. Carney's words reveal a vision for Canada's energy future that blends ambition with caution. The future of energy, clean and conventional, must be low risk, low cost, and low carbon, he told the press. And while he praised Alberta's progress in reducing emissions intensity in the oil and gas sector, he emphasized that further work is needed, particularly in strengthening carbon markets and regulation, elements critical for ensuring investment certainty. The tension is palpable. On one side, Smith seeks to protect Alberta's economic future and expand energy access globally. On the other, Carney demands prudence, oversight, and a clear path toward sustainability. Outside Alberta, not everyone shares Smith's enthusiasm. British Columbia Premier David Eby voiced frustration over continued discussions about the pipeline, pointing to the absence of a route, a proponent, or even a fully fleshed-out project. He warned that any forward movement could cost taxpayers upwards of $40 to $50 billion. Yet, insiders hint that something more profound is unfolding behind the scenes. Alberta's ambitions are being weighed against national priorities. Projects referred to the Major Projects Office have yet to receive designation as being, in the national interest, a status that can grant exemptions from certain environmental laws and accelerate approval. This is where Carney's influence becomes crucial. As a former central banker and globally respected economist, his approach blends strategic foresight with careful planning. Those close to the discussion suggest that Carney is quietly shaping a framework for Alberta's energy sector that balances rapid development with economic stability and environmental responsibility. Smith herself has said the province is ready to invest heavily, positioning Alberta and its oil and gas industry for the energy future. And while the final decisions remain in Ottawa's hands, there is a sense among insiders that Carney's office is approaching these projects with a long-term vision, one that could redefine Alberta's place in Canada's energy landscape. What happens next could shift the political and economic map of the country. Will Alberta achieve its pipeline ambitions? Will Carney's vision for sustainable, low-risk energy guide decisions across provinces? And can both leaders strike the balance necessary to move Canada forward without alienating provinces, investors, or the public? The coming days are critical. Negotiations, discussions, and subtle pressure from multiple stakeholders all play a role. Every statement, every announcement, and every decision could carry weight far beyond what Canadians see on the surface. As Alberta and Ottawa navigate this delicate dance, one thing is certain: Canada is watching. Investors, environmental advocates, and citizens alike are waiting for clarity, leadership, and results. And in the center of this unfolding drama stands Mark Carney, steering a path that could shape the nation's energy future for decades. Premier Smith's ambitions, Carney's strategy, and the nation's eyes are all aligned on the same stage. What appears to be an ordinary list of projects is, in fact, a test of leadership, vision, and the future of Alberta's economy. But the story does not end there. Behind the headlines, behind the announcements, insiders suggest there are discussions happening that could change the game entirely. Talks of funding allocations, strategic partnerships, and even international investment agreements are said to be under negotiation, details Canadians may never see until the approvals are announced. Some industry insiders hint that if the projects move forward as envisioned, Alberta could experience a surge in both domestic and foreign investment, potentially reshaping the province's economy for decades. The ripple effects could touch every sector: energy, transportation, mining, and even technology. This is more than infrastructure. This is more than pipelines or mines. This is about who will set the course for Canada's energy, its economy, and its global reputation. And as the negotiations continue, every Canadian should ask themselves, are we witnessing the birth of a new energy era? Or are we caught in another round of political brinkmanship? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the moves made in Alberta over the coming days could echo across the nation for years to come. Stay tuned. Because the next chapter of Canada's energy story is just beginning, and it's one you won't want to miss.